I tend to struggle or complicate things for myself. The reason I say this is because for a while I've been wanting to make a couple videos related to more or less kind of random thoughts on Monster Hunter that I've had, and it's become not increasingly difficult but a bit stale because I'm just waiting on title updates 4, 5, and 6 for the PS5 console edition of Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak. On top of that, the Tokyo Game Show will be in September, so we're more than likely going to hear about Monster Hunter 6, being that 2024 will be the 20th anniversary of Monster Hunter as a whole. So I kind of have these little pause moments of what could I expect or see, or what is it I could talk about. And I already did my wish list video, which garnered 23k plus views, and a huge shout out to everybody who watched, commented, liked, disliked, anything really. It helps to know and understand the type of content that people enjoy. I didn't think Monster Hunter was going to be that big, but with World and Iceborne and how that was treated, I guess I should have figured it out. But I didn't think I was going to get those views, so I very much appreciate it. With that in mind, this is something I talked about with a friend a little while ago, and as the title indicates, it's about Movesets versus Skillsets. So what I mean by Movesets versus skill sets, or skills that you can use in the game, right? Monster Hunter Rise does essentially both. So World and Iceborne also does a variation of this, right? So if you think about World and Iceborne, right, if, say for example, you're using the longsword, right? With the longsword, you got the EI slash and the EI counter. If you got the great sword, you have the ability to use a slinger shot, and then you can skip straight from slinger shot into true charge slash. If you were using a charge blade, you got Savage Axe, so on and so forth, right? A lot of weapons got various upgrades and different types of moves implemented in their moveset. So it became it was either something completely new, or it was like an update to something. But every weapon got a fresh little touch up, is how I'll put it, from World and Iceborne, right? And that's what I refer to as movesets. Whereas skill sets, I am more so leaning to like hunter arts, and also changing the skills available, so like the different types of moves you can throw out. See, in World and Iceborne, you play longsword or greatsword like in one or two specific ways, but there's not various ways to play around it. Like now, if you look at Sunbreak, you have the option to play Sacred Sheath style or EI Harvest Moon counter style. You know, you can pick between one of the two. If you're playing, if you're playing in Sunbreak, there is the Savage Axe modes and play styles that people recommend, or you have the SAED spam style that you're able to go forth with. And because of these given provided options, I think it's crucial that the next Monster Hunter game brings forth some of those implementations. And I kind of wanted to go over the quality of life mechanics that I think all the games did really well, but I think enough people from World and Iceborne and Rise and Sunbreak know well enough all the quality of life updates. So this is just going straight into movesets and skill sets. I don't know if it's necessary to have hunter arts make a return. If they're going to, I would subtract the need for wire bugs, because it kind of helps as a cooldown system, but it isn't hard to implement wire bug whisper and just get the level 3 and keep things pushing, especially when wire bugs are sitting around the map available to you. Or I guess I think there's ways to bounce around that and not need it. I also would like to say that I think Generations Ultimate did it in an interesting style, that with the different guild or alchemy or valor, whatever you want, whichever one you chose, you charged up certain moves at different rates. And like Adept was the best one to use as many hunter arts as possible, and they all charged at like a medium rate. And so you couldn't just spam it out, but it was a bit more comfortable to just use all the moves and then see what do you really like. And I think that's pretty crucial. I think that's a really good thing to use. Have a cooldown system that's based on how you're choosing to fight. Like, it'll cool down on its own, but it'll take a while if it's on its own. But if you're building it up like you would build up and like Defiance or Strife or things like that and Sunbreak, or like when you build up Frostcraft, right? It takes its time, but the more you get into it, the more you can build it up. Then I think it's pretty beneficial, because then it gives you an opportunity to explore your moveset of the weapon, and then just throw in a little bit of flair here and there without being so super anime heavy hack and slash feeling, and being able to have those weighted hits like how World and Iceborne did it, but then also having a bit of the flair that Rise and Sunbreak promoted with its moveset changes, and with the wire bug or silk attacks, or however they're even called in the game. I think if 6 is to build upon what the 5th generation games provided, I think it is crucial to go more for like a Gen U style. Keep the cool super move stuff in there, and just make it so people have the option to play with their own stuff. Like, if you're a longsword user and you want the overhead slash, you can go for that, but if you want the double drawn slash, then you can also choose that if you want. If you're a bow user and you want to use if you want to use power dodge or dodge bolts or whatever the two options are, you get to choose which of the two would you like. And I think having that available makes it really good. So this isn't truly like a movesets versus skill sets kind of thing. This is just more or less what I think should be done for Monster Hunter 6 if they want to keep the best of both worlds. I think get rid of wire bugs, give people the ability to shape shift their move sets, but if they're gonna have moves and skills that they can execute, like wire bug attacks and whatnot, then it should be something where they can maybe choose 2 at the most, because you already can only run with 2. Give them 2 to run with, and then afterwards it's on a cooldown system, not using wire bugs. It just has a cooldown system, and the cooldown can decrease even faster based on how you're choosing to fight the monster. So like if you're a dual blades person, I mean, you can probably get your moves back really quickly, but they can obviously balance it around in that aspect. I don't know, that's something I had in my mind for a while, and I had a whole script of how I plan on speaking on it, but I think it was just going a bit in too much detail that wasn't necessary to explain what I was going for. So yeah, I think if it's a movesets versus skill sets thing, I like updated movesets like World and Iceborne, but I think it really limits you on what you're capable of doing. It's fun, I enjoyed it, I'm not saying I hated it, but if we have the option to be able to do more like how Rise and Sunbreak allowed us to, then I'd rather go for the option where I can do more. Maybe it's a recency kind of deal, but I do like just having a lot of crazy stuff I can execute on my own terms. So that's just also another take I have for that. But yeah, I will try to push out for more content. I don't know if I have anything else Monster Hunter related I really want to do a touch up on, other than maybe another wishlist part, which I was already working on and doing, and then I took a fat ass break, so I never really jumped back in and decided to go forth. I was planning on doing speed runs for a while, or attempted hunts with friends, and I'm getting slowly a bigger pool of people to start playing now that Sunbreak and Monster Hunter Rise are being sold together on the PlayStation 5. So I'm gonna hope to do something of the sort. And yeah, I don't know, maybe I can get a speed run or two done before the next title updates come out. So if you guys enjoyed this or have thoughts of your own that you want to share, I'm not gonna ask for a like and a subscribe or nothing. Just do what you want to do. Let me know what you think though, if you have a preference of the sort, and yeah, just leave something down below. I appreciate it though, and again, thank you for all the recent views